COVID SOP issued in Assam, shops and commercial establishments to shut down at 2 p.m. on all days. JEE Mains May 2021 session postponed in view of COVID-19 pandemic. In Mizoram, complete shutdown of non-essential activities to be clamped till 4 a.m. of 11th of May. Meghalaya declares various villages in East Khasi Hills, Dribhoy and West Khasi Hills district as epicenters of an African swine fever. And in cricket, current season of IPL suspended due to multiple cases of COVID-19 in players. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Jolly Khoikia Gogoi with the stories in detail. The Assam State Disaster Management Authority has issued a revised and consolidated directive today on containment of COVID-19 pandemic in supersession of its earlier orders issued on April 30, 2021. As per the new order, all shops and commercial establishments shall shut down at 2 p.m. on all days. All offices, both private and government, shall shut down at 2 p.m. on all days. This will not be applicable for organizations rendering essential and emergency services, law enforcing services and election work. For marriages, only religious part will be allowed with presence of maximum of 20 persons, while total restrictions on movement of persons at public places shall be imposed from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. on all days except for persons engaged in essential and emergency services. Restaurants, dhabas and other eateries can entertain dine-in guests only up to 2 p.m. Takeaway, including home delivery of food, is allowed till 6 p.m., after which only home delivery of food will be allowed. Today's order will come into force from 5 a.m. of 5th May 2021 and will remain in force until further orders. Government has postponed the JEE Main May 2021 session in view of COVID-19 pandemic. The session was scheduled to be held at the end of this month, while the April session had already been postponed. In a tweet, Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said the decision has been taken keeping in mind the present situation of COVID-19 and students' safety. He urged the students to keep visiting the official website of NTA for further update. In view of the prevailing situation of COVID-19 in the state, it has been decided by the Board of Secondary Education Assam to postpone the HSLC examination 2021 scheduled to be held from 11th May. Likewise, the Assam Higher Secondary Education Council has informed that the HS final exam 2021 to be held from 11th May has also been postponed until further notice. The revised schedule of the said examinations shall be announced shortly after consultation with the Health Department, Government of Assam. In Mizoram, with the continued alarming spurt of COVID-19 cases in the state, complete shutdown of all non-essential activities will be clamped till 4 a.m. of 11th of May. The Mizoram State Disaster Management Authority has revised the existing guidelines by incorporating stricter measures to reduce the further surge of positive cases in the state. No resident of Aizawl municipal area and other district headquarters towns should step out of their homes during the lockdown, the order said. Stores providing essential commodities and service centers will be allowed to be opened only on Saturdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. while keeping COVID guidelines in check. Meat, vegetable and all grocery stores will be allowed to open from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturdays with arrangements made by the local village level task force. Educational institutions, religious places and other public places including parks, picnic spots, theatre, gym, restaurants, shopping complexes and malls have been ordered to stay shut. State Health Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma reviewed the present situation in Guwahati Medical College Hospital and said that if COVID cases in the state increases at the present rate, then there shall be dearth of beds in the next 2 weeks. However, he added there is a possibility of another 60 to 70 ICU beds to be readied by this evening. The minister added that areas with high rate of COVID cases shall be declared as containment zones. The Deputy Commissioner of Kamrup Metro has been asked to do the needful survey on this. He further added an amount of 6 crore has been released for vaccination of 18 years and above. Meanwhile, the minister informed that 700 MBBS doctors shall be employed in the COVID centres, and he also urged the people to exchange the remdesivir injections if it has crossed the expiry date.
হসপিটাল বেড কেনেকে বঢ়াব পাৰি তাৰ সিদ্ধান্তখিনি আমি ললো গতিকে কিছুদিনলৈকে লকডাউনৰ কথাটো অহা নাই ইন দি মিন টাইম যদি কন্টেইনমেন্ট জোন কৰি আমি কেছৰ সংখ্যা কমাব পাৰো তেতিয়ালে হয়তো লকডাউনৰ কথা আমি আলোচনা কৰিব নালাগে আজি আমি আৰু সিদ্ধান্ত লৈছো যে 760 জন এমবিবিএস ডক্টৰ এইবাৰ আমাৰ এমবিবিএস পাস কৰিছিল তেওঁলোকক আমি ইমিডিয়েটলি মেডিকেল কলেজ আৰু জিলা হস্পিটালসমূহত নিযুক্তি দিবলৈ সিদ্ধান্ত লৈছো এনে তেওঁলোক ৰুৰেল পোষ্টিঙত যায় এইবাৰ আমি ৰুৰেল পোষ্টিঙৰ পৰিৱৰ্তে কোভিড কেয়াৰ চেণ্টাৰ বিলাকত তেওঁলোকক আমি কাম কৰিবলৈ নিদিওঁ পলম হৈছে স্যাৰ সেইটো প্ৰশ্নৰ উত্তৰটো এনেকুৱা
Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh extended his heartfelt gratitude to the Assam Chief Minister and Assam Health Minister for being allowed to procure 3 metric ton oxygen from the oxygen plants situated at Nagaon and Silchar in Assam. He said this gesture speaks volume of the evident cooperation amongst the states in the northeastern region. Meanwhile, Himanta Biswa Sharma expressed his pleasure to be able to help anyone in the region in case of surplus resources. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a virtual summit with his British counterpart Boris Johnson today. During the summit, apart from exchanging views on regional and global issues of mutual interest, both leaders will discuss COVID-19 cooperation and the global efforts to fight the pandemic. The summit will be an important opportunity to elevate multifaceted strategic ties and enhance cooperation on regional and global issues of mutual interest. A comprehensive roadmap 2030 will be launched during the summit, which will pave the way for further expanding of India-UK cooperation over the next decade across 5 key areas. These are people-to-people relationship, trade and prosperity, defense and security, climate action and healthcare. The Meghalaya government has declared various villages in East Khasi Hills, Reebhoy and West Khasi Hills districts as epicenters of an African swine fever outbreak in the state. Various restrictions under the National Action Plan for the Control, Containment and Eradication of African Swine Fever have been made applicable to the affected areas. According to a statement, the directive was issued after the results of pig samples were received and the outbreak of African swine fever was confirmed in Meghalaya. Meghalaya Diseases Investigation Officer from Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Department, Dr. H. Killa, said that the African swine fever affects only animals but has no cure or vaccine. Following strict biosecurity measures and containing any farm which has symptoms of this fever are the only means to tackle this disease, which has a 100% mortality rate.
African swine fever is a highly contagious, economically affecting their domestic pigs and wild pigs and may cause 100% mortality. But humans and other animals are not susceptible to African swine fever. There is no public health or food safety concern regarding the disease. But the disease is highly transmissible in the pig population, which may spread through direct contact with infected domestic or wild pigs, indirect contact through contaminated feed, kitchen waste or garbage, contaminated materials and equipments used in the farm. Lastly, there is no vaccine or no treatment for African swine fever. But what the people have to understand is to follow strict biosecurity measures to avoid or to prevent the spread of the disease.
In cricket, the current season of Indian Premier League has been suspended due to emergence of multiple cases of COVID-19 in the players. The Indian Premier League Governing Council and Board of Control for Cricket in India, in an emergency meeting, has unanimously decided to postpone IPL 2021 season with immediate effect. In a statement, Indian Premier League said the BCCI does not want to compromise on the safety of the players, support staff and the other participants involved in organizing the IPL. It further said these are difficult times, especially in India, and the BCCI will do everything in its powers to arrange for the secure and safe passage of all the participants. In the COVID update from the country, with a special focus on the 5-point principle of test, track, treat, isolate and vaccinate, the number of cumulative COVID-19 testing reported by Indian Council of Medical Research has surpassed the figure of 29 crore 33 lakh. Currently, the total number of active cases comprises of over 34 lakh 47,000. According to the Health and Family Welfare Ministry, over 3 lakh 20,000 patients have recovered within the last 24 hours. With that, over 1 crore 66 lakh people have recovered in the country. Meanwhile, with 3,449 deaths being reported in the last 24 hours, the cumulative death toll in the country stands at over 2 lakh 22,000. In the COVID scenario from the northeast, the Arunachal Pradesh reports 1,536 active cases, while discharge cases logged at 17,363. The tally for the dead is at 59. Assam is saddled with 26,477 active cases, with the cured cases logged at 2,34,237. The dead accounted for 1,389, reporting 2,071 active cases. Manipur recorded 30,030 cured cases, while the dead tallied at 422. Meghalaya reported 1,884 active cases, a caseload of 15,606 cured cases. The dead accounted for 185. With a caseload of 1,427 active cases, Mizoram logged 5,112 discharge cases, while the death toll has gone up to 17. Nagaland reported 1,584 active cases with 12,752 released cases. The dead tallied at 115. Sikkim has a caseload of 1,723 active cases, 6,595 cured cases. The tally for the dead is 150. Lastly, in Tripura, active cases have touched 1,725, while discharge cases logged 33,869. The dead accounted for 400. Kaziranga National Park closes for tourists in view of COVID. The national park has been closed on the directives of the Ministry of Environment and Forest. According to the directives of the Ministry of Environment and Forest, the national park needs to close to negate the possibility of spread of COVID virus among the animals of the forest and also the chance of propagation of the virus from human being to animals. Meanwhile, the Orang and Manas National Park too have been closed for the same.
In it, Ajipura, Kaziranga tourism activities, both elephant safari already band ho gol 30 तारीख है और Ajipura jeep safari मैंने बंद कराबो. अकल elephant safari jeep safari भी नहीं आपको trekking और boating अकल tourism related activities आदि Ajipura तो बंद होता क्यों? इन्हें हमारे Kaziranga tourism related activities generally हमारे मई माह 15 तारीख पिछले बंद हुई ताकि और ये बार तो COVID में तो
Meghalaya Forest and Environment Minister James P. K. Sangma informed that the department has taken adequate steps to mitigate the rampant destruction of flora and fauna of the state. He cited certain shortcomings as the area of coverage is very large to stop all illegal activities. However, the department has placed intelligence networks all over the state and has taken swift action as when crimes are reported. He stated that there will be zero tolerance against any illegal activity relating to destruction of flora and fauna of Meghalaya.
Very important task, challenging because it's not just the forest department, but it has to be interdepartmental coordination that has to take place between the urban affairs, between soil and water conservation, between water resources, and with the forest and environment department. So that kind of synergy and cooperation is required and coordination is required. So it's not an easy task, but we are on the job, and we hope that that this will be a very welcome step, and eventually in the future we'll.
For more updates, viewers can also watch our bulletins and other programs on our YouTube channel DD News Guwahati. Before we end the news, the headlines once again. New COVID SOP issued in Assam. Shops and commercial establishments to shut down at 2 p.m. on all days. JEE Mains May 2021 session postponed in view of COVID-19 pandemic. In Mizoram, complete shutdown of non-essential activities to be clamped till 4 a.m. of 11th of May. Meghalaya declares various villages in East Khasi Hills districts, Ribhoi and West Khasi Hills, as epicenters of an African swine fever. And in cricket, current season of IPL suspended due to multiple cases of COVID-19 in players. Before taking leave, viewers are reminded to maintain physical distancing, regularly sanitize hands and frequently wash hands with soap. Remember to wear a mask properly and join the Mask Up India campaign by Doordarshan to defeat the pandemic. Mask Up India. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.